Familia, I appreciate you being here with me still. You could say that we've reached the end of, well, never mind the title. Cause this is life and it's still being written. If you think about it, there is no end, just chapters and intersections. I'm at the intersection, somewhere between earth and heaven, birth and death and resurrection. Looking back on the map of my life, reflecting and rapping my introspection. The curses and stress and learning of lessons, losing direction. The pain and depression's what made me mix music and message. And it took so much to get here, but now.
Hey guys, Gina Butson, Real Estate. Welcome to the show. I hope everyone is having a lovely day so far. Picking up your pumpkin spice lattes, because it is the season. So, episode 7. Welcome, guys. You know, you've been hanging in there. I know I kind of took a break for a couple of weeks. I was traveling to New Mexico with some clients that are relocating. We're selling their house in Vallejo. And I went down with them. And, you know, New Mexico's absolutely beautiful. Very green, and every time I got on the freeway, there was this huge mountain right in front of me. It was just really pretty. And New Mexico, every time I talk about it, I'm like, gosh, you know, I could see myself living there. I thought Colorado was pretty. New Mexico, I really enjoyed it. The short time that I was there, they had a really good casino. Sorry, Mom. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I had a good time out there with my clients and the kids. And one of the kids was turning 18, so I guess she's not a kid anymore. And, you know, watching, there are some mutual friends, and now we're all friends. We were all friends before, but I mean, you know, going through this process, you really become friends. I'm their realtor, I'm their agent. So I'm holding their hand through this whole process, and, you know, spending a lot of time on the phone and trying to take care of the sale of Vallejo. You know, it's an emotional roller coaster. And so being there for them and answering any questions that they have, you know, that's kind of what I've been working on. My relocation remix program, I guess I could call it. And so that was, that took up 2 weeks ago. And then after I flew back from New Mexico, I was back in the office for one day, taking care of paperwork. And then the next day, me and Kelly were on another flight, to Disneyland. And so that was amazing. And if you have a chance, oh my gosh, you have to go. Is it called Star Wars Land? I don't even know, but I was geeking out for real. It was absolutely wonderful. They did such a good job in the cantina, and the fog and the little thing in the tank dancing around in the water. And it was just such an experience. And we actually got to go on the Resistance, the ride that, you know, you have to try at 7 a.m. and then again at 12. And then they only let so many people in. So at 7 a.m., our alarm would go off, and me and Kelly were both spamming, hitting it. And it was literally like luck of the draw, and it would fill up in 10 seconds, because she said, I got in. And the first time I hit it, it was like, we're full. And I was all, what? And I was like, God, well, I mean, but when you think about how many hundreds of people are doing the exact same thing we were. So that was exciting. I won't even ruin it for anybody, you know. And Kelly was like, you didn't take any pictures, and you didn't. I wanted to experience it. I didn't want to be experiencing it through my phone and then never watching it again. So no, I was all, you know, eyes super wide open, and it was really cool. I can't even say how much fun I had. Well, there's pictures, and we'll probably be posting them soon of me geeking out, whatever. So on to episode 7. I was throwing the idea around of, I just hit my first year as being a real estate agent, and it's been such a wonderful experience. And, lately, to be super transparent and just keeping it real, I kind of found myself a little burnt out. And so trying to figure out the business and personal piece and kind of keeping them separated, not commingling so much. Because any loan officer knows we do not like commingled bank accounts, business and personal. You got to keep it separated. So that's one of the items I wanted to talk about and kind of go over to kind of get myself out of this funk. And I'm trying to really figure out what happened. Where did I start to lose my motivation? Because it's not like I'm not busy. I'm busy. And maybe it's just figuring out the balance, because I'm jumping from one pan to the other, and maybe I burnt my ass too much. I don't know. Okay, I'll cut that out. All right. So jumping from one pan to the other, maybe I just haven't given myself a break, So even though we were in Disneyland, oh my God, Kelly has an itinerary and we follow it. And if we're not at Disneyland for the full 12 hours, mama's not happy. Happy wife, happy life. So she did let me take a break. One of the days we were there, my feet, I was just like, I could have cut my legs off at the knees and been so happy because my knees hurt, my feet hurt. I iced my knees at one point in the hotel room. Like that was the part that wasn't so much fun. So getting back to the episode, now that I've caught you up on boohoo, poor me, I love like bouncing around and thank you guys for hanging in there and chasing me as I go running through the streets, because with everything that I talk about or cover or, a lot of it is I really love the feedback I get. And I was thinking, if I could go back and give myself advice, what advice would I give myself these past 3 years on this journey that I've been on this sales spree? And it came down to a couple of quotes from a couple of people, and one of them was, if I could tell myself, Gina, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And that is a famous Debbie Galvan quote. And, in my times when it was so hard and I wanted to give up and, I kind of gave you guys a little taste of what I was going through during episode 4. And, I just remember I kept telling myself, okay, Gina, if it was easy, everyone would do it. But it's so powerful when you have a quote or advice that someone's given you, and it truly inspires you to be better, and it truly gets you out from a place that of darkness. And so one of the things I absolutely would tell myself would be, Gina, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And second would be the advice I got when I was originally transitioning from my W-2 scenario desk position to a loan officer. And I don't think I really understood at the time what I was doing and the risk I was taking. And I mean, of course I was scared. And of course I was, freaking out going from, a stable, getting paid every 2 weeks salary, a nice salary, to then kind of being paid off of my own performance. And if you don't perform, guess what? You don't get paid. So I think for me, one of the most important times, almost as if a milestone advice that I received that I do reflect on, and I actually pass it on as much as I can. And I've been running into, at different events, new agents and new loan officers and people who are just now getting into this industry and haven't experienced the roller coaster. And, right now everything is unicorns and rainbows and, butterflies are flying all around us. And it's a good time. It's a great market to be in. And I think that those of us who've experienced the downfall or the layoff, I think I've been laid off maybe 6 times. That might be a little bit high, but keeping it conservative, I think it's been 6 times. So how can I help someone that has lost everything or hasn't experienced the down spiral of the market? If you haven't experienced it yet, I'm telling you, hook up with agents who've been through it. Hook up with agents who can give you the little nuggets that you put in your pocket and keep for a rainy day. Because I'm telling you, when it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, ooh-wee, it's bad. And this isn't anything, I know I always refer to mortgages and the real estate side, but this really truly just goes to anything because there's ups and downs in every industry. I mean, geez, we all just experienced a pandemic and it didn't matter what you did, who you were. Even the essential workers at one point, besides the hospitals, they didn't shut down, but the rest of us shut down for a minute, and some of us longer than others. And, some of us, in our industry, it was all hands on deck, full speed ahead, it was just crazy. And so I think as the rates we're going to start to see the rates climbing and just having rate increases, we're going to see a slight slowdown. And so the people who haven't been in this industry that long, haven't experienced a slowdown or, because don't get me wrong, this market is smoking hot, but it happens so fast that I don't even want to forget. I don't even want to get comfortable in my own skin that I don't see it coming when it happens, or I'm not ready. I didn't prepare for the slowdown. So I think this is where, I can pass on some knowledge and educate or give some advice that I felt was key during this whole time, the past 3 years, that really truly just helped me. So getting to that advice, it was right at the transition. And, I remember being on the conference call and the sales manager was like, okay, Gina, what's your plan? You're going to start, you don't have a database, you don't have a routine, I really didn't have anything. So I know he was really trying to prepare me for what I had no idea was coming. And he was trying to prepare me for, it's not going to be rainbows and unicorns. It is going to be a challenge for me. And he said, just kind of take a step back, take one day at a time. Some of us have heard that before. And truly just be in the moment and embrace change. And in this journey that I was about to get on, he said, "What is your plan? Do you have a backup plan?" And of course I do, because I had actually been thinking about applying at different mortgage companies. And even though like they were laying off 3 years ago because the rates were really high and there was no refinance boom, you were squeezing what you could. Someone needed cash out to renovate or whatever, you got lucky and you got one. So it was back then, and he said, "So what was my backup plan?" And so I started to say, well, because of course I don't want to say, well, I'm going to keep applying, but I'm going to try this out. And so he said, "My advice to you is, Gina, burn the boat." And I thought, what? And he said, "Get in your boat, get to the island, get off, and burn it. Burn the boat." And at first I thought, why in the hell would I do that? Go to an island that I have no idea what's on it and burn my boat so I can't get off and go get help or go basically just get the hell off the island. What? And so he kept talking, and I stopped listening for a minute because, of course, my mind, I'm always all over the place. And I was thinking, okay, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to burn the damn boat, and I'm going to DoorDash, and I'm going to keep applying for these other mortgage companies, and maybe someone needs an underwriter. So I was already like tail spinning and not out of control, but my mind was already, going off to my backup plan. And then he said, "Gina, I need you to burn the boat, burn it." And then I was like, okay. And then he's like, "Look, do you want this to work? Do you really want this to work?" Well, of course I did. I always wanted to be a loan officer. I always wanted to do sales and be in a sales position, but I was always just so scared. I was always scared to take that chance. And, W-2 to commission, no, it was not for me. No way. The risk was too high. What if I couldn't do it? What if I failed? Of course, fear comes in, and then I found myself consumed. But if I burn my boat, I would have to figure it out. I would have to make it work. And so the more I thought about it, the more I realized I have to burn my boat. I have to burn it to the ground. I got to burn this shit to nothing. Because guess what? I have to make this work. I want to make this work. And if I do have an exit strategy and I keep that boat on the side, guess what? I'm not going to give 110%. When I think I'm failing or, I hit a bump, I'm not just going to get in that boat and start paddling off into the abyss of nothing. And now I'm just floating and I can't see anything. At least when I was on land, I could build my little house. I could build my little fishing pole. I could make it work. My feet were on the ground. So the more I thought about what he told me, the more I realized I was burning it. There was no way I was keeping that boat on the side. So I could second guess myself. So I could not give 110% of myself. I had no choice but to survive. I had no choice but to make this work. And so that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because this was so powerful. And I had no idea the effect that saying would have in my life today, 3 years later, looking back. And when I start to struggle, guess what? that boat is gone. That boat sailed 3 years ago and is gone. You know, when I first transitioned over, and there was a time when I was door dashing, and, you know, because I had to do what I had to do to get gas money and not tap into our savings as much as I could. I had to like balance, you know, shut everything down. Me and Amazon broke up. I know I mentioned that in the previous episode, but truly, I had to let so much go to make this work, and I sacrificed so much to make this work. But at the end of the day, guys, if you start something new, you have got to be all in. You have to be. You have to give yourself that. Believe in yourself and burn the boat. Burn it. Because guess what? When it's just you, and that's all who keeps showing up every time, you know, you ask for help, or you need something from someone, or you're trying to expand in a way, and people keep not showing up. Guess who always shows up? You do. You do. Sometimes we are all we have. And so all I can say to you guys is burn the boat, stay focused, and it's okay to have a little side hustle to make sure you can eat. But if you start something for yourself, give yourself a chance. And I'm telling you, I'm so thankful for that conversation, and I'm so thankful because I don't think I would have. I would not have burnt my boat. I would have made so many excuses not to do it. Why would I sabotage myself like that? And I think in one of the previous episodes, it's so crucial. It's our mindset, because our mindset doesn't let us dream. Our mindset of this is all you can have, and we live paycheck to paycheck. Our mindset holds us down. We are our biggest enemy, and it's so true. We get in our own heads, we get in our own way, and you can't push yourself out of your own way if you don't even know you're doing it, and a perfect example, that boat. If you leave that boat on the side, you know exactly where it's at. You know where you tied it up. And you know you can always go back there, get in the boat, and leave. But what happens if that boat's not there? Guess what? You are going to figure it out. I'll be damned if I go hungry. I ain't missing no meals. Oh no, Gina's eating. Gina will do what Gina got to do. And so that's what I want to pass on to you guys. That it was so important this past year. I had faced so many different challenges, and, learning the real estate side in general. And it's just as I don't even know how to say this. It's the unknown. Every transaction's different. So it's almost like the server that's carrying the tray. And I had to teach myself to say corner. I've never worked in the food industry, but that is something on every transaction. You hit a corner, you better be ready. You better let so-and-so know, the title company. You better let everyone know, you're hitting that corner just to make sure we don't drop nothing or collide or run into each other. It's like the same type of advice, same roadmaps for each industry, for whatever you do. It's the same thing, but being prepared and having that knowledge and having someone tell you, it's your mindset needs to be tweaked a little bit. It's in us. It's in all of us. But it's whether you want to tap into that, tap into it. But you have got to burn the boat. You can't have that there holding you down. You think that's your exit strategy. You think that's your safety net. That is what's holding you back. It's mind-blowing. Wow. And so anyone starting a new journey, anyone, venturing out and taking a chance on themselves, best advice, but you got to burn that damn thing down. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. This was hopefully something that someone needed to hear. I started this podcast. I wasn't really feeling it. I was really struggling with, I hit my 1 year. I feel like I'm in a little bit of a funk, and I needed a little bit of motivation, and I needed to feel what I'm doing means something to someone. So thank you guys so much for hanging in here. Make sure you guys subscribe, tell your friends, and I hope this story touched you in a way that you're willing to take a chance on yourself, and you can do this. People do it every day. But if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy, guys. Take a chance. Make it happen. Burn the damn boat. All right, you guys, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Share it, save it, screenshot it, whatever you guys want to do. Pass on the good word of Gina Butson, real estate. All right, you guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed the show. Love you guys. Bye.
Look, Mom, I did it.
Gina. I like Gina.
You like Gina?
Yeah. Gina, name Gina. I want Gina bird.
Familia, I appreciate you being here with me still. You could say that we've reached the end of, well, never mind the title. Cause this is life and it's still being written. If you think about it, there is no end, just chapters and intersections. I'm at the intersection, somewhere between earth and heaven, birth and death and resurrection. Looking back on the map of my life, reflecting and rapping my introspection. The curses and stress and learning of lessons, losing direction. The pain and depression's what made me mix music and message. And it took so much to get here, but now the view is majestic. I guess these many graves then gave me perspective. I've seen it sometimes right behind the grief is hiding the blessings. And other times it is what it is and the globe still spins. We cry those tears that dry them.